So for number 5, I decided to go with the hero Luminous. Now you may be wondering why. Luminous is one of the 5 heroes who had sealed away the Black Mage, and he's also part of the Magician branch like Evan. His weapons are the Shining Rod as a primary weapon, and an orb for his secondary weapon. He dealt the final hit toward the Black Mage and sealed up his dark power into himself. Now that's pretty badass for a story if you ask me. He's also one of the better story characters in my opinion, but that's again my opinion. So, unlike many other versions, we were not given the option between a light and a dark path. When Luminous came out, we were given one path only, and we were stuck on that path. Granted, however, this path does not make a difference after second job advancement. Therefore, it's mainly for the story aspect and for fanboyism to fangirlism, because many were angry that we weren't given the option to choose because they wanted a different output into the story. Granted, however, it does not make a difference. Now, let's go into the gameplay of Luminous. He is one of the more fun mages in my opinion. Granted, he is and was overpowered, he sort of is now. But his range is intense, his damage output is pretty intense depending on which side you're on, light or dark. And well, overall he's a fun class to play, one of my favorite mages in the game. So that's why he deserves the number 5 spot on my list. Because he's fun, he has a good story, and his damage output is good for anyone who is unfunded, towards those who are funded. So at number 4, we have the Demon Slayer. These days he's considered the Demon class or the Resistance class, so he's kind of compiled into 3 different things. So, he's a one-handed blunt weapon user, meaning either it's a one-handed axe or a one-handed mace. Now, those aren't exactly the most used weapons in MapleStory up until he came around. And trust me when I say this, he puts them to good use. So, we're just gonna go over the story quickly. He is a servant, or was a servant, of the Black Mage up until he realized the Black Mage was an absolute ruler. So, after having a meeting with the 3 Black Wing commanders, Orchid, Von Leon, and Arcarium, he was found at his home, only to find a locket of his deceased mother and brother. So pretty much, his family was killed. Now that's pretty dark if you ask me. As a story, that's actually really bloody dark. So, where does this lead into my favorite class? When Demon Slayer first came out, I had tons and tons of fun with this class. The way he trained was amazing, his skills were innovative at the time. We only had an Aran or Eren as a class that spammed control to attack, but when Demon Slayer came around we were giving another option. But he wasn't so control, based. A lot of his 4 job skills barely use control actually. Most of his skills, like Demon Impact, don't require it. Now, you are gonna need souls, which is his MP fuel. He uses Demon Force. We don't really use MP as a Demon Slayer. And it's just fun the way it's used. I personally love it. I enjoy it. And that's why he's number 4. His gameplay is always fun. He was innovative at the time. He still kind of is innovative. And his story was probably one of the darker MapleStory stories. It's actually pretty dark when you look into it and read more about it. So, that's number 4 to me. So at number 3, we have an Explorer class. We have the Bowmaster. Now, a lot of you, I'm not positive, might not know, but Bowmaster is actually one of my favorite classes in MapleStory. Now, I can't say that it always was. I originally disliked Bowmasters, mainly because they were very clunky, you couldn't move around with them too much, because of Hurricane. Hurricane basically halted you in one spot and didn't allow you too much movement. Now, my Bowmaster hit level 200 before we got all these fancy updates, where the hyper skills let us move, and the hyper skills buffed us, and basically all that stuff. I didn't have that privilege training to 200. Granted, however, because of the hyper skills, this class has become 10 times more fun. Now, Bowmasters don't exactly have a story because as an explorer, you're just thrown into the world, you're making your own story up, your own life, I suppose, your own Bowmaster's life. Hint, hint. Now, I suppose I can say that Bowmasters to me were fun because I loved Hurricane. I didn't like the clunkiness of Hurricane where you're stuck in one place, but back when newts were around and you were able to just snipe at newts, holy crap, was that the best way of training and the easiest way of training, especially for Bowmasters. The only thing I can really dislike about this class is the low HP. The low HP is a really big killer. Simply the HP being so low is just a good cause of you dying a lot. When you go to Hall of Honor, expect to either run out of potions like there's no tomorrow, or just have one hell of a day of annoyance. Because, believe it or not, pet HP isn't always automatic. It could lag, and that 1 millisecond of lag, congratulations, you died and lost 10%. But, besides that fault of HP, still one of my favorite classes because of Hurricane. It was the original class to have a rapid fire type skill. You know, before Corsairs, before Phantoms, before Xenons, before everything else we have right now. This was the original class, and that's kind of why I like it. So, that's why it's number 3 to me. So in my number 2 slot, we have Shadowers. Now, for me, Shadowers were kind of a late enjoyment class, and I'll tell you why. Back in 2005, I made a Synthit. For those of you who remember what Synthits were, it was a combination of an assassin with a job advancement of a Shadower. Now, we don't make those anymore because we have no need for them. Back then it was a viable excuse for training a lot faster. Now, why I dislike Shadowers, more specific Bandits in 2005, they had no mob skills. This was a big turnoff for me in many classes. That's why I enjoyed Warriors the most in 2005 to 2006. Because their job, even though it was around, you never wanted to make a secondary character just to level them up. You wanted to focus on one character and make that your primary character. These days you can make a bandit and be level 100 in the first day. It's pretty simple and pretty easy. But I love Shadowers now because of their high mobility with flash jump, their awesome skills. Although I do kind of miss Band of Thieves. Nexon, please bring that back, that'd be pretty awesome. But I do love their skill set. Having Boomerang Step, still one of my favorite skills of MapleStory. It's just an awesome looking skill, and it does quite a lot of damage. And, well, just overall it's awesome. The only complaints I can have about this class is that they're not for everyone. This class is one of the harder ones to fund, not saying it's the hardest or it is hard, but, you know, just a combination of every class in the game to get a good damage output because they aren't exactly the fastest hitters. Compared to Night Lords or Dual Blades or Phantoms, they don't exactly have like 500 lines worth of damage. They have about 6 to 8 depending on what skill you're using and all that stuff. It doesn't have melee like Phantom, and it doesn't have Phantom Blow like a Dual Blade. So they're kind of down there. But in terms of on average and compared to all the other ones, just going by one line worth of damage, they probably hit a bit more. And with their level 150 hyper skill called Flip the Coin, it's a pretty beastly skill and it does increase their damage quite a lot. But I guess it's number 2 for me because I just enjoy playing the class. It originally didn't appeal to me, but as soon as they got Band of Thieves at their job advancement, I love them, and since that time, which was about 2006, 2007-ish, I've just been playing them non-stop. And I think this is the most remade class I have. I think I remade my Shadower 6 times in total since 2005. No other class in this game have I remade more than 2 times. So that's a pretty amazing feat for Shadower. And coming in at my number 1 class, we have the Cannoneer. Absolutely the best class in MapleStory, period. I've never seen a better class in the game. They have a giant cannon on their back that's always strapped on their back. And you get a monkey. You get a monkey. Tell me what's cooler than a monkey. Oh yeah, I can tell you what. So in all seriousness, my favorite class is the Phantom. Many of you know this. He is a hero. He is a master thief. He throws cards at people. His waifu died on him. Kind of a sad story. He has a ship in the sky. In the sky. He has a Lumiere. The dude drives cars as mounts. Every other damn character gets like an animal. Mercedes got a unicorn, Explorer's got pigs, Aran's got wolves. This guy drives a car. That's bloody awesome. But in all seriousness, I love the Phantom. His damage output is not the best. It's actually one of the lowest ones in MapleStory. And funding this guy, I think he's actually the #1 most unfunded class without gear. Meaning, if you put every class side by side with no gear, he'd have the lowest damage output. Not to mention, funding him is hell. If I gave all my Phantom armor to my Dual Blade or my Shadower, their range would be in the 200 to 300k zone. With my Phantom's gear right now, I'm only about 90k, and that's saying something. Perfect Empress Cane, all unique gear besides one epic piece of gear and one rare. He really is one of the hardest classes to fund in the game. But that doesn't mean he's not fun. To me, I love this class. The day he came out, I have not stopped playing it. It's still my primary main character. And I do not plan to quit this class ever. Well, I am going to take a break when Zero comes out, but not Zero. And well, I don't know what else to say. I play this class for fun. He has an amazing storyline. He's the most unique class in my opinion, with the ability to steal skills. Now tell me how it's not awesome to have Magic Guard, well not Magic Guard, let's go with something easier. Let's go with Iron Body, Rage, Combo Attack, and Sharp Eyes. You're taking, well, I mean you could take a Hero and a Bowmaster, but you could take any variety of Explorer classes, and soon to be Dual Blades and Cannoneers. So that's gonna be really awesome. And that's my #1 class for MapleStory, it's the Phantom. Not the highest damage output class, but he is the most fun to me. And, well, that's it guys. Thank you for watching my top 5 MapleStory classes. Write down your top 5 classes in MapleStory in the comment section below. And maybe list a little bit about why it's your favorite class. Or your top 5 favorite classes, or whatever you want. But try to keep it accurate to the video and keep it to your favorite MapleStory classes. So, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And stay tuned for whenever I do another top 5 video for Cybercast Top 5. See you guys later.